Welcome once again. We are back for one more exciting and interesting podcast with Madam Anubhuti. Welcome, Madam Anubhuti, to your Celeb Talk 1.0. Thank you so
Thank
much
you so much.
for accepting our invitation. And as usual, we are every time back with some important and great personalities who are known for their wonderful activity. And Madam Anubhuti Goswami is really very special guest for us today. So she's very busy, and I'm really thankful to her on behalf of Positive Mental Attitude that she has found some time for our podcast. And thank you, madam. I'm sure today those who would be listening to this podcast, not only they will get some information, but they are going to get some very invaluable information and tips for their healthy living and how to get the mental wellness. They would also realize that this can bring a lot of new meaning for their life. So, without much ado, I would basically go to Madam Anubhuti to know a little bit about Madam Anubhuti. And after that, we would start our journey, our musical journey of today's podcast. Now, why I say musical, of course, when you know about Madam Anubhuti, you will definitely come to know more about her. So, over to Madam Anubhuti.
Thank you so much, Dr. Das. I am so thankful that you have invited me for your podcast session, and you have given the importance of music therapy for the society in this podcast. That is more important and more valuable for me. I am not doing any great job, but my only motive is to serve the people through music and musical activities. So thank you so much.
So wonderfully and so humbly said, because I know that all great people are humble and same as you. So I can understand that you are very gentle and down to earth. But I must accept this fact that you have been doing really an outstanding job for the recent times. I have been noticing you in the different social media, the way you are helping and reaching out to the needy people. That is really amazing. Madam Anubhuti has a wonderful career in music. She was also in corporate for a long time. She has hold different important positions in the different officials. And today she has started a new innings of her life in the journey of music therapy. And that is so much inspired by life because the other name of music is life. And who could be the best person to describe than Madam Anubhuti? So we'll go to Madam Anubhuti to ask the first question that how do you think that music is related to life, and in the very first place, we are interested to know that how you got inspired by the music.
Mm, actually, my parents are very much uh, fascinated towards music. My maternal family is also connected to music, and my mother is a singer and is a vocal trainer herself. So I was introduced to music at a very tender age. So I used to eat my lunch or dinner along with my mom, singing saregama or imagining saregama or imagining the positions of saregama. So I was introduced to music in a very very early stage of my life, and probably at the age of 5, I started performing for television and also radio. So I was introduced to music with a very knowledgeable and veteran guru whose name was Sangeet Visharad Indreshwar Sharma. I belong to Assam. I belong to Jorhat, the cultural city of Assam. So I was introduced to music. I was developed with music throughout the city, throughout my all, musical career was started from my school, my music school. It was, everything was very much spontaneous and also musical in my journey of my academic career also. So I was very much fortunate to be brought up with the help of music and along with music. And then after that I studied music. I did my master of music from Calcutta University, and then I got married to a musical family in Guwahati. And my father-in-law is a very well-known musical figure in Assam. His name is Loknath Goswami. His songs are very much popular in Assam. And also my husband works for Bollywood industry. So that's how it is. So I am very much connected to music throughout my life.
Wonderful. I am really impressed with the such a extraordinary life, and I'm sure like those who are listening on the other side of the screen, they would be getting goosebumps the way they are going to understand and reveal more about you. So, madam, I just want to know from you that how the music therapy works for different elements and the challenges in life, and how this therapy is different from the other form of therapy.
Yeah. So music therapy is something, it is a therapeutic practice that uses music and musical elements
Mhm.
to improve the cognitive, social, emotional well-being of a individual.
Okay.
And in music, we use different elements of music, like rhythm, like singing, like creating music, like writing about music, like painting with music,
Mhm.
like walking with music,
Mhm.
right? So all these kinds of things we use through music, and it improves the well-being of the person in a scientific way, as well as in a holistic way.
Wow. So that
So
is
it,
so
yeah,
that
and
that is
it,
the science behind the music you are trying to say, correct?
yeah, and also no, it is. I will explain it. What is the science behind it? But yes, it differs from the other forms of therapy because uh, it is in music therapy we utilize music in a structured and personalized way. So we analyze the person's needs, how the person needs the music, what kind of music he needs,
Mhm.
how he needs the music, what kind of a patient, his psychological condition, does he express or he doesn't express. All these things have to be considered while giving music therapy, right? But in physiotherapy or in behavioral therapy or in other forms of therapy, the approach is totally different, and it is always their physical movement and their probably their behavior, probably their expression. All these things are taken into consideration. But in music therapy, what I have observed, that we can really minimize the amount of medications also through music therapy.
So true. So I just want to know that how do you really proceed with this therapy and what is the science behind this music therapy? I think that is very interesting to listen. So if you can just tell us,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so the science behind music therapy is music is very much connected to the brain. So brain processes music in a different way.
Mhm.
When we listen to music through our auditory cortex, the brain starts analyzing the music in a segregated way. So music brain analyzes its rhythm differently, its melody differently, its lyrics differently, its tone differently, its
Mhm.
timbre differently. So different parts of the brain gets started working when it listens to music. So
Mhm.
that's why I am talking. When I am talking, my brain, some part of my brain might be working. If I am writing, some of my part of brain is working. But if I am listening or singing or practicing music, then the whole brain starts working.
Mhm.
So that's why when we apply music to a person, then what happens? The person starts working throughout his brain. And if someone is paralyzed or someone is autistic, Someone's neurological condition is not well, someone is in coma even, then also music can work.
Wonderful. So, madam, how do you go with the like giving this therapy, and how do you basically treat the patients? As you said, I'm sure, like along with the patient, even the healthy people can also take this music therapy to elevate their emotions or well-being. So, if you can just tell me something on that.
Yes, so every person's need of music therapy is different. Even I need music therapy for my holistic well-being.
Mm-hmm.
But if someone is suffering from some kind of diseases, if it is high BP, if it is autism, if it is any mental anxiety, stress, if it is sleep disorder, so every person has his own need of music.
Mm-hmm.
We as music therapists has to understand that what is the need of the person. Accordingly, we design music. Does the person need the Gayatri mantra? Does the person need the chakra balancing Bij mantra? Does the person need only Saregama Padanisa Sanidapa Magarisa as a chanting? Does the person need only a part of rhythm to work or to listen? Does the person need? I really started using music in a different way or in a different designs, and I was really mm, trying to utilize music to cure people.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I was using it in a theoretical basis, basically. I went through my course and I did a course of music therapy where I got to know that yes, Rag Bhupali can work for headache. So I used to give Rag Bhupali to the person who is suffering from migraine. So different kinds of ragas are there, specialized for different diseases. But when gradually I entered into the lifestyle of music or um, the healing part of music, and also I started incorporating sound healing also into my music therapy profession or my treatment plan, then I realized in my life also, uh, in the morning time I simply do nothing. I only do my breathing exercises, some 4 or 5 breathing exercises along with my tanpura and the tabla going on. Simply the tanpura and tabla is getting played, and I do my breathing exercises. I do some 10 minutes or 15 minutes of meditation, and I do some yoga along with my tanpura. Now, sound works as a medicine. When we do these things, these simple practices, or we incorporate these simple practices into our daily life, what happens? Our body's rhythm gets accustomed to that rhythm, and our breathing has a close connection with our emotions. So when we breathe with the music, and especially when we utilize 60 BPM or 120 BPM for the rhythm, which is the heartbeat rhythm of the BPM is 120 BPM of our heartbeat. So if we synchronize the rhythm along with that rhythm, the body also gets used to, and the emotions also gets used to that. So, what happens after probably 1 week or 2 weeks or 21 days of practice? We can, balance our emotions, we can balance our decisions, we can balance our life also. Everyone is stressed or everyone has anxiety, everyone has problems. Nobody in the world can live without a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Problem will come and go, problem will come and go, but it is you who has to balance your mind, balance your heartbeat, balance your body. Otherwise, what will happen? You will fall into many kinds of diseases because the sound of the mind is the main culprit of all the diseases. Our thoughts are considered as the sound of the mind. So if we can control our thoughts, then we can control the emotions, we can control the diseases also.
Fantastic. So before we go to the next question, can I request you to maybe sing some, particular piece or a tune which you use normally in a therapy? Maybe through this podcast, people can also get a feeling that what kind of tune or what kind of raga, as you said, raga Bhopali, that which can be very relieving for the migraine patient, or particularly, I'm sure a lot of people, a lot of youngsters are really affected nowadays by this kind of problem. And in the time when they have to really compete with their steep career challenges, they have to be very ambitious. If this kind of health conditions can be easily tackled, I'm sure they can really get more healed up, and gradually they will get a better, the wellness and all these factors can be elevated. So maybe if you can just tell us that, or you can just play certain demonstrate, because for our audience it's completely new thing, I'm sure.
Yeah. So we have a very common rag called the rag Yaman. And Yaman is very melodious rag, and it is very much beneficial to calm you down, and also to control your high BP and low BP also, and also your heart rate. So normally in my sessions, I used to play, or I used to sing Rag Yaman. So there is a very beautiful bandish in Rag Yaman, which is called Tu Jag Mein Sharam Rakh Mera. So we are telling the God that Tu Jag Mein Sharam Rakh Mera. तू जग में शर्म रख मेरा, तू जग में शर्म रख मेरा, तू ऐसो ही पाक परवर दिगार, तू ऐसो ही पाक परवर दिगार, तू जग में शर्म रख मेरा, तू जग में. If you don't know any bhajan or any bandish of Rag Yaman, you can sing any Bollywood song. अभी ना जाओ छोड़ कर के दिल अभी भरा नहीं. But I usually listen to people saying that, oh my God, I cannot sing. My voice is not for singing. So people consider that if the voice is not rightly sung or rightly delivered, then you cannot sing. But yes, of course, I would not suggest you to sing on mic or sing on stage without getting trained or without practicing. But yes, you should always sing for you and yourself and for your family. It really helps you to get attached to your family, to get attuned with your children, right? So it's
Amazing.
really important to enjoy yourself first, and it becomes an entertainment at your family place also.
So nicely said. I'm sure like our audience who are listening to this podcast, they would understand that how they can bring the small positivity in their life by getting into the music. And I'm sure like all of you have definitely been a bathroom singer at times, and definitely have been humming a tune. And what magic it can play, it is just unimaginable, as you said, that it can connect the relationship, it can really heal up so much a problem. So now I would like to know from you, madam, my next question would be that how exactly this music therapy can be beneficial for different ailments, and particularly if I talk about the different stages or the challenges of life. For example, someone who is continuously trying to go for different opportunity but not getting successful. That could be for anyone who is trying for a different career, someone who's trying to give job interview, and continuously the person is applying in different companies through the online application, but the person is not getting success. Or you imagine that someone who basically has got some kind of special ability, like you are doing a lot of things for the specially able child. So how do you really keep yourself always focused, and how do you make sure that your therapies are narrowed down to the exact requirement of the people? Maybe some of the examples if you can give, and maybe some small music if you can just also give us an example, which can be an eye opener for us.
Actually, it is not about the music. It is always, as I have told you, about the requirement of the person.
Okay.
So it is not always about what I am going to make him listen. It may be sometimes that he is only singing some songs from his heart out.
Mm.
It may be sometimes the person or an autistic child who is just singing A B C D E F G H I J K L M N O P, or maybe a song do 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 da 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 da. So what I do for especially for autistic child, as they have a very common problem of mm, uh, vocabulary, or speechlessness. They always suffer from speech problems. So what we do, we customize the songs in a way that
Correct.
and all those things, because of all those things, he cannot rest, his brain cannot sleep. And also he was having the this issues fever issues. So this was delaying his progress. So I started giving him 6 times a day of music therapy, starting from Gayatri Mantra, healing music, calming music, or other kinds of music, raga, different kinds of things I have started. And then after probably 1 week of this practice, or 1 week of listening, his fits have been controlled to 15 days. The difference was 15 days. And his fever was completely controlled.
Wow. So these are all your success stories, and I'm sure there are so many success stories which we can listen from you. But before that, I want to know one thing, which is really, well, means very, I'm getting inquisitive to ask you that how one can really choose a career like you to become a music therapist. I'm sure there should be certain preparation one has to do, because I'm sure those who are listening you today, and there are so many youngsters who are also getting equally inspired, they may not have ever thought of this particular career. So how one can take the preparation, or if somebody is already in music, how one can even think of getting the feel like a music therapist, or is there any option for that? There are any kind of preparation or any examination, any certification? How do one prepare?
Yeah, there is always a certification of music therapy. In India now, there is a term called medical music therapist, which is provided by Sri Balaji Vidyapith University of Pondicherry. In Pondicherry, there is Chennai School of Music Therapy. In Delhi, there is Nara University, who are offering music therapy courses. So, but yes, of course, for becoming a music therapist, it is always helpful for the person if he or she has a good interest in music, has been basically trained in music, and also a good dedication or devotion towards the society to serve the people. So these are the qualities that one needs to become a music therapist, I feel. And also, if I have a very good fascination or passion towards knowing the psychology of a person, so yes, knowledge of psychology also helps in becoming a music therapist.
Wonderful. I'm sure like they're all listening very carefully. So I just want to know one thing, like you are also organizing several master classes, and I'm sure those who are listening to this podcast, they can be tomorrow your student or your followers. So how exactly one can join your master class, and what exactly are the different kind of subjects or topics you are covering in your master session? If you can just tell us a little bit.
Yeah, so I am focusing on autism and anxiety, basically. in my online master classes, because I have seen that almost 83 million people in India is suffering from autism.
So, madam, I
So
just
yourself from your own eye.
very true. So now, since we have come almost to the end of this podcast, and every beautiful thing comes to an end, but then again, before we leave, we would just like to get few takeaways from you, and if you can also present a small, maybe of one of your music preparation, which can definitely be remembered by our audience, and we would be eager to get you once again. So first of all, we'll listen to your takeaways, and maybe you can finish with your presentation, madam.
Yeah. So, after discussing all these things, I would like to request each and every person who is listening to this podcast that always try to uh, engage yourself with good music, with some pure music, with some calming music in your daily life. It will really help you to calm yourself, and also try to analyze the power of music into your daily life, into getting into a better and holistic way of life. It is the most powerful thing that will give you, or that will lead you in a holistic way. And when our emotions, our thoughts are balanced, when we are mentally healthy, we can really, really control all the physical problems from our lifestyle. So everyone is suffering from different problems. Someone is suffering from obesity, someone is suffering from thyroid, someone is suffering from high BP, diabetes. Everything is related to your lifestyle and to your thought process. So control your thought process and try to get music into your life. So that is what I want to suggest all of you. And try to analyze yourself in a pure sound perspective way. What we speak is also sound. So always try to speak in a moderate way, in a compassionate way. Love yourself and love the world.
In fact, listening to you also is a wonderful experience because your way of speaking is also a melody for us. You are speaking so rhythmically and so nicely, and I'm really amazed. And maybe one last tune, if you can, present to our listeners so that they can get inspired and they can always remember this podcast, and we can look forward to having you once again. So maybe if you can finish this session with one of your music renditions.
Yeah. So there is a song called Aaj Jaane Ki Zid Na Karo. So I would like to dedicate this song to all the audiences. आज जाने की जिद ना करो, आज जाने की जिद ना करो, यूं ही पहलू में बैठे रहो, यूं ही पहलू में बैठे रहो, आज जाने की जिद ना करो, आज जाने की जिद ना करो. Thank you.
Amazing, amazing. I'm
Thank
sure
you so much.
I'm sure like everybody has loved and got inspired by this wonderful podcast. And we are really eager to get you back once again for such a musical journey because this is going to be very effective, I'm sure, for all of us, whether we are suffering from challenge or whether we are leading a normal life. But we have at least understood today that how music therapy can be a game changer for us. Thank you, madam. Have a nice evening and take care till the time we get back. And here, Dr. Das signing off. Stay blessed, stay positive till the time we come back.